Hello and welcome to A Spirited Debate. I'm Lauren Green. It was an act that defied the Nazis' demonic regime during World War II. One man saved 200 American Jewish prisoners with these words, "We are all Jewish." Now, more than 70 years later, U.S. Sergeant Roddie Edmonds is being honored posthumously. The Jewish Foundation for the Righteous will officially bestow the honor, and Sergeant Edmonds' son, Pastor Chris Edmonds, will be there to receive it. Pastor Edmonds joins me now. Welcome.
Thank you, Lawrence. Good to be here.
This is an amazing story that actually makes me weep every time I hear it. And it took place during the Battle of the Bulge, 1944. Your father was the highest-ranking officer of the prisoners, and then what happened?
He was asked the night before of the particular incident to just send forth the Jewish POWs, the Jewish Americans, on the following morning's roll call. And he turned to his men and he said, "We're not doing that. Tomorrow morning we all fall out." And so he sent orders to all 5 of the American barracks and said, all of us are falling out tomorrow, even though they'd received the same orders he had received. And all of them did, which is amazing, because all those men were heroes. They all stepped out with my father. So the commandant comes out of his quarters and he sees over 1,200, nearly 1,300 American POWs standing together in sharp formation, and he's enraged. So he storms over to my father, and he gets up in his face and he says, "They cannot all be Jews." And my father just calmly replies, "We're all Jews here." And he really gets angry then and pulls his Luger and presses it into my father's forehead. And he says, "Sergeant, you have one last chance. You will order the Jewish Americans to step forward, or I will shoot you right now." Well, Lester Tanner, one of the POWs who lives here in New York, shared with me and said, "Your father didn't waver." He said he just calmly looked at the major and said, "Major, all that's required is name, rank, and serial number. But if you shoot me, you'll have to kill all of us, because we know who you are, and you'll stand for war crimes when we win this war, and you will pay." And wow. And Lester said the major just turned, he blanched, he turned white.
Were you aware growing up that your father was this hero? I mean, he was only 25 years old when this happened.
No, I mean, he was always my hero, and he was always active and involved in things that we did as children and growing up. But no, he never shared this. He was like many of the greatest generation. He came back from the war. He got married, had a family, loved his country, he loved God, he loved his family, and he moved on. I don't know how he did it. You know, with the horrors I know about now, I don't know how these men came back and just became so fruitful and productive in their lives. And but he never shared. The only thing he would ever share with me as I grew up as a teenager and a college student, I said, "Dad, tell me about your POW experience." He said, "Son, some things are too horrible to talk about." He said, "I will just tell you we were humiliated." And that's all he would ever say. And so he never shared, not even with my mom. He never shared about what happened in the camp.
You know, what does it mean to be given the honor of the righteous by a Jewish foundation?
Well, as my dad was a infectious Christian. He loved people. He loved God. For him, it is a great honor. He truly did live a life, I think, that's a fitting tribute to be called among the righteous. It doesn't surprise me that he did what he did. And to be honored by the nation of Israel with their highest honor to non-Jews is an incredible honor, and I think one of the highest, if not the highest honor he will receive this side of eternity.
Why do you think it took so long? It's been over 70 years, and we are just now beginning to understand what this man did, and many people don't know of him as a hero. Obviously, from now on they will, but why do you think it took so long?
Well, what I've discovered, and I think what we as a culture have discovered, is that these men really made a commitment to the armed services not to share, and they honor their word. And then the other thing is, some of the things they experienced were so horrible that it took many, many years for them to process, and only began to share their experiences with their grandchildren. And many of these men that I've met who are living POWs, they said the first person they told was a grandchild. And now many of them are sharing in schools and with other community groups, which is wonderful. But I really do believe it was such a, they put it away in another compartment, and now that their grandchildren have asked about it. And when I was interviewing one of them, one of the children was there with me while I was interviewing. She said, "I've never heard any of this."
Wow.
And she said she was amazed. But it was like he was reliving it. He was back there.
Wow. Pastor Edmonds, I want to thank you so much, and congratulations on your father finally being honored as one of the righteous.
Thank you, and I just want to say thanks to the Jewish Foundation for the Righteous for the incredible honor and for taking me to Germany and Belgium and being able to retrace his steps. So it was an experience of a lifetime.
I'm sure it was, and we'll be hearing more about it, I'm sure.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. And thank you for being watching A Spirited Debate, and we'll see you the next time.